There are people walking among us whose smiles hide deep wounds. People who once belonged, but now feel pushed to the edges of life. Some were rejected by society. They were labeled, judged, and spoken about in whispers. Doors closed quietly. Invitations stopped coming. They learned what it feels like to be invisible in a crowded room. Others were rejected by the ones they loved most. A spouse who once promised forever slowly withdrew. Words grew cold, affection disappeared, and silence became louder than arguments. Nights were spent staring at the ceiling, wondering how love turned into loneliness while lying beside someone who no longer saw them. Some were rejected by their own families. They were told they were a disappointment, a burden, a failure. They learned early to swallow tears, to grow strong too soon, and to pretend they were fine when their hearts were breaking. Depression settled in quietly. It showed up as exhaustion that sleep couldn't fix, as tears that came without warning, and as thoughts that whispered, "You are not enough. You don't belong. No one would miss you." They questioned their worth. They replayed painful words. They blamed themselves for things that were never their fault. They carried shame that didn't belong to them. And in their darkest moments, they wondered if their lives had any meaning at all. This pain is not new. John Newton knew it well. As a child, John Newton grew up unloved, undisciplined, and rejected. He was often referred to as a wretch. His heart hardened early, and he became angry, hostile, and deeply rebellious. He denied love, denied faith, and denied God. His life spiraled into darkness. Violence, cruelty, and self-destruction followed him wherever he went. He tried to fill the emptiness with power, control, and rebellion, but nothing healed the wound inside him. Then one night in the middle of the sea, everything changed. A violent storm wrecked the ship he was on. Water poured in. Death felt certain. In that desperate moment, when there was no strength left, no pride left, and no place to run, John Newton cried out for mercy, not to people, not to himself, but to God. And grace found him there, on a broken ship, in the middle of a raging sea. God spared his life, and that same man once called a wretch was transformed by mercy. Years later, John Newton would write words the world still sings today. "Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me." Beloved, this is the truth. In our desperate situations, we must not look for our worth in moral beings, people who are broken themselves. Human love can fail. Human approval can disappear. Human acceptance can be withdrawn. But God, the author and finisher of our lives, never rejects what he has created. Before society rejected you, God had already seen you. Before relationships broke you, God had already chosen you. Before a single tear fell, God had already written your story. The psalmist put it this way: "You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed.